Instead of looking at weird fictional tank designs, I thought I'd look at some pretty out there designs that were actually drawn up in reality. The title for this video isn't set in stone yet, but it'll probably be something like Strange Tank Prototypes. However, some of these tanks aren't prototypes strictly speaking. Some of these never made it beyond the drawing board, but were too good not to talk about. These aren't going in any particular order or anything. I don't want to be screamed at because someone's favorite tank was number 3 instead of number 2, or whatever. First up is an American tank concept from around the mid-50s, called Hen and Chick. As the name implies, this is actually 2 vehicles instead of 1. Proposed by Continental Motors as part of the Astron project, the idea was to use modular propulsion units to create a variety of combat vehicles. The Hen was essentially 2 propulsion units combined in an articulated fashion, with a separate turret compartment being mounted between them. The turret would contain the commander, gunner, and loader. The driver would be located in the forward propulsion unit. The gun was to be a 90mm using liquid propellant, and would have been stabilized in both elevation and azimuth. A ramjet-assisted kinetic projectile was also proposed for this cannon. Rather strangely, a ball-mounted 30 caliber machine gun was to be included in the turret side, sort of like on Japanese tanks during World War II. The Hen was supposed to weigh around 45 tons, with each propulsion unit providing around 310 horsepower. While the Hen was designed to act as sort of a medium tank, the Chick's role was more akin to a light tank. Using 1 propulsion unit, the Chick was supposed to weigh around 21 tons, and would have had a crew of just 2. It would have used a variety of modular fighting compartments, including an anti-tank/anti-infantry version with a 105 rocket-boosted gun, an anti-air version with twin 30mm cannons, and a pure anti-tank missile carrier, either carrying the D-40 Cannonball ATGM or a new ramjet missile. Though the Hen was going to be equipped with high explosive shells and a decent number of machine guns, it was primarily designed for long-range anti-tank work, with the Chick being slotted in for short-range anti-infantry work and anti-tank work. Though the Hen and Chick concept was very interesting, it never went beyond pen and paper, and honestly, that's a good thing. Articulated tanks do offer some enhanced off-road characteristics when compared to their conventional counterparts, but they do have some issues, namely, increased ground pressure, increased mechanical complexity, and the inability to use full engine power if a track is disabled. Now let's jump ahead about 30 years, and talk about a Soviet project called Object 490. Unlike prior Soviet designs, Object 490 was designed from the ground up with crew protection being the primary concern. That isn't to say that earlier Soviet designs didn't care about crew protection at all. They tried to achieve that through overall lower profiles and efficient armor layouts. It's just that after the tank has been penetrated, there are no survivability measures in place for the crew. On the Object 490, in order to provide the highest possible level of protection for the 2-man crew, they were placed in an armored capsule at the rear of the vehicle. Immediately ahead of the crew capsule was the magazine for the ammunition, which had blow-up panels for added survivability. The 490 had 2 1,000 horsepower engines located directly underneath the turret, with the fuel tanks being located in the front of the vehicle. The 490 made use of composite armor, explosive reactive armor, and an active protection system. Weighing about 54 tons, it had an excellent power-to-weight ratio of 37 horsepower per ton. This, combined with its hydropneumatic suspension, made it exceptionally fast both on and off-road. Using a 152mm smoothbore gun, the Object 490 was well-armed, well-armored, and very mobile. Despite this, it never went beyond the prototype stage. Though the vehicle itself was very impressive, it simply would have been way too expensive to mass produce. Another 80s project was America's Elevated Kinetic Energy Test Vehicle, or ELKE, which was created to evaluate the merits of an elevating gun platform, which would allow the vehicle to fire from defilade. Honestly, there's not much to be said about it. It was a modified Sheridan hull that had a 75mm Ares autocannon attached to an elevating mount. It was tested around the same time as the HIMAG and HSTV test vehicles, which used the same gun. This particular vehicle is noteworthy because elevating ATGM platforms are fairly commonplace. Elevating cannon platforms are not. The concept seems promising for vehicles aimed towards ambushing tank columns and such, but for any other application, I think it would do more harm than good. Finally, there's the infamous TV-8, a medium tank proposal that was created by Chrysler in May of 1955. Many of you are probably already familiar with the TV-8, as it's become pretty well known as the quote-unquote nuclear tank. While a nuclear power plant was proposed for the TV-8, I don't think that's what makes it weird or special. To me, it's the fact that almost all of the major components are located in the turret. The inner turret housed all 4 crew members as well as the power plant and 90mm gun. Surrounding the turret was an outer shell which not only provided spaced armor, but also allowed the TV-8 to float in water. Some people think that it was actually built, but this is not the case. What's being shown on screen is a very convincing mock-up built by Chrysler. And that wraps everything up. I tried to stay away from some of the more famous ones like the Object 279 or the Rat. Hopefully there was at least one tank presented that you never knew about. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.